Hey, and welcome to the Loft. My name is Danny.
Hi, my name's Rich.
And today we're going to be looking at how to create some really cool ambient chord voicings.
Yeah, so essentially what you heard us playing that little demo was a really basic idea. It was, rather than kind of playing your full, bar chords, A shapes or E shapes, all we were doing is just taking that shape and just taking the actual chord intervals out of the shape itself and creating our own voicing with it.
Yeah.
So in this case, we were just creating a voicing with the root, the fifth and the third. So you get this kind of shape. So from a D minor shape here, you've got a root, a fifth and a minor third. So that essentially just gives you a D minor chord, but it's like a light version. It's a really sparse atmospheric sound. So all we're doing with that is then just applying that same voicing to all our other chords we're playing. So if you want to do a major version of that, you're just taking the root, the fifth and the third again, but you're doing a major chord. So you'll get a root, a fifth and a major third. So you see this, the shape changes slightly.
Yeah.
But it's exactly the same voicing. So with that, you can then fly around the neck, apply that to all your chord shapes, your major chords, minor chords, diminished chords. We'll chuck those up on the screen as well so you can see them.
Yeah.
But they're a really cool way to play your chords, and just give you something a bit different in your rhythm playing, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with a touch of reverb or something. It gives you that space within the chord to create a really cool sound. On that point, I'm going through the Hughes and Kettner Tubemeister 18. Rich is going through the Kemper with the Sir.
Yeah, it's
Badger
like a Sir Badger patch.
Sounds
touch
pretty
of
awesome.
reverb, but again, a really sort of just get. It's amazing as well how much a good sound can inspire your playing as well. So make sure you sit down with a nice clean sound. It doesn't have to be a tube amp. It can be like whatever. It's like just stick a bit of reverb on it, and see how you get on. The other thing I was going to do as well, you can sort of do with this is you can kind of play a little bit lead with it as well. So you can kind of chuck in a bit of chords and lead. So kind of this sort of stuff.
And in every instance there, you were still doing the same approach, weren't you?
Exactly, yeah. Not changing anything. I'm just sort of putting a few licks in, staying in the key that I'm in, F major, and then just rolling around the chords with that voicing. So
if you weren't too familiar with your intervals, for example, obviously you could really sit down chord by chord and try and just work out what the root, third and fifth is. Should we show you how you maybe do that? So say if we just took, I don't know, if you pick a chord, one minor and one major, and just sort of show how you would maybe work out.
Okay, for instance, so let's say we've got A minor there, right? So all you want to do before you kind of, work out your voicing, you just need to know what all those notes you're playing are. Right. So in this case, I've got a root, a fifth, a root, a third, a fifth, and a root. So, some chords are going to have more than one interval in them, so that's got like 3 roots in it, 2 fifths, and 1 third. So my choices are limited because I've only got 1/3 to choose from. But
if you had to work out what the third was, so say you didn't know what a root, third and fifth was. Okay. So like a basic, so your root is obviously your first note.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember all chords are built from scales. Yeah. So in this case, I can just make sure I know my scale shape that surrounds that chord. So in this shape, I've got this A minor scale. So So that's my 2 octaves. And then with that, I can then work out what my intervals are. Because you're just counting, it's just numbers. So it'd be root, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. So I need a root, a third and a fifth.
Yep.
And that's how you start building your voicing. So all we're doing with that is, rather than doing them all together, we're actually spreading them out over more than 1 octave. So you've got the room for the chord to work. But essentially, that's all we're doing. That's all a chord is an interval, like an arpeggiated interval, isn't it?
Yeah, so just, like I say, sit down with a chord, pick a chord, any chord, play this... Sounds like a game show. Yeah. Play through the scale and literally count up. So the root being the first note, third and the fifth. And then move those shapes around the neck and see what you come up with.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys need any help, like any theory questions, just let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we'll always reply to the comments below. We keep a keen eye on it.
Yeah, give you some pointers. But essentially, it's quite a basic concept. So you know, once you've got your scales and your intervals under your belt, then this is a really cool technique you can use. So.
And yeah, thank you for all our recent subscribers. We've had quite a few over the last week or so. Please say hello and let us know where you're watching from, because we are really interested to see where you're from. We look at the stats occasionally, and it's pretty cool once we see some different countries joining us. So make sure you say hello and ask any questions below, and we'll see you in another video soon.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. See you next one.